Welcome back for the final day in Eastgate's five-part series celebrating National Infrastructure Week. To catch up on all of the videos over this past week, check the link in the description. Today's topic is smart logistics, and to kick us off, we have a short message from Senator Sherrod Brown.
I'm Sherrod Brown. It's an honor to serve you in the United States Senate. Thanks to the Eastgate Regional Council of Governments for your work on behalf of each of your communities in all of Northeast Ohio. Throughout this pandemic, I've heard the same things from communities large and small, rural and urban. They need more resources. They need to be able to decide for themselves how to use them. You know your communities best, much better than any politician in Washington does. That's what we did with the American Rescue Plan. We invested in the country. We got direct, flexible funding to state and local governments. And then they all made those decisions. As we turn to infrastructure, we're going to continue to think about how we invest in the whole country in places that have been, like Lordstown as an example, most recently, that have been abandoned by corporations, and in places that frankly never had the investment they should have. That means investing in transportation and broadband and new energy technology. It means R&D, so we can compete with China in the industries of the future. GM failed to see what we all know. We have the manufacturing workforce and know-how to put it all together right here in Ohio, from Lordstown Motor Company's electric pickup truck, to LG Chem's battery plant for electric vehicles. The American Jobs Plan is going to put Ohioans to work, and those are jobs that can't be shipped overseas as we pass real Buy America rules that require that those jobs be done by American business, made by those products made by American workers. I want to see Ohio manufacturing thrive to strengthen our competitiveness, to give your communities, our communities, the tools they need to be part of the 21st century economy. If we fail to invest in clean energy R&D, if we fail to retool our factories, if we fail to play the leadership role we can play, then other countries will fill the void. So let's create 21st century communities. Let's create more better paying jobs in more places. Let's bring down people's energy costs. Let's pave the way for another century led by American innovation. There's no better place to develop and manufacturing the next generation of advanced technology and new energy vehicles than right here in Ohio. So let's together do it. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Senator Brown, for your remarks and your long-term support of infrastructure in Northeast Ohio. And also thank you for joining us today on Day 5 of National Infrastructure Week. To kick us off, we've got Mike Hripko here, and he's going to talk about the Lordstown Smart Logistic Hub Initiative. So thanks for being here, Mike. What can you tell us about this project?
Justin, thank you very much for having me. Certainly Lordstown and all of Northeast Ohio continue to feel the impact of the closure of that GM Lordstown auto assembly plant. You know, at peak, that plant employed over 14,000 people directly, not including the supply chain and secondary market jobs. So the region has been working very hard to rebuild our regional economy, focusing on a regional economic diversification strategy. And that includes pursuit of new businesses and new jobs in really a couple of key technology areas that have a regional toehold and some momentum. And first of all, of course, is vehicle electrification and e-mobility. That's leveraging the great opportunities made available to us from the Ultium battery plant and the Lordstown Motors electric truck manufacturing plant. Secondly, advanced manufacturing, building upon the work of America Makes and Youngstown Business Incubator and YSU, all that 3D printing research. And third, distribution and logistics, continuing that growth of regional distribution from companies such as Anderson Dubose, FedEx, TJ Maxx, and a recently announced Macy's expansion. We continue to see logistics and national distribution of goods as growing, especially since the pandemic. We believe this is a permanent change in the way America shops and markets, and we want the region to be well prepared from an infrastructure standpoint to support this growth in logistics. And we think those regions in our country that provide distributors with advanced logistics technologies and infrastructure should be well positioned for job growth. So as we look at the area, I-76, I-80, the Ohio Turnpike, Route 11 north and south, and all the area around Lordstown and North Jackson, we see an area of opportunity for a smart logistics corridor.
Thanks for giving that great overview. It really sets the stage for what a broad and all-encompassing project this aims to be. As we think towards some of these potential technologies, what are we likely to see in this smart logistics hub?
Well, we've been studying smart logistics centers all across the nation and really around the globe, and we see a variety of technologies and infrastructure development. They might include a train to truck multimodal station, loading and unloading freight from the train, transporting it directly to the warehouse via a truck. Sometimes that truck is an autonomous vehicle as well. So we're going to see if that's technology is applicable to our region. We have also seen experiments in central Ohio that deal with truck cab to receiving dock communication. There's a digital communication of which dock and which precise time, because these deliveries are sequenced and scheduled very tightly for maximum efficiently. We've also seen some truck cab to ODOT communique weather conditions and traffic conditions so that ODOT can respond if there's ice or snow removal required. These also, of course, require a strong supporting broadband network. We might see more traditional infrastructure such as enhanced paving, widening, maybe even some dedicated lanes and ramps for truck traffic versus auto traffic. We've seen a triple trailer transfer yard. You know, the triple trailers are not allowed on many local roads. We might provide a triple trailer yard so that we could provide for easy staging for those deliveries. And we've looked at even technologies such as in-road charging of electric vehicles, uniting logistics with e-mobility, our other regional economic opportunity here. So there's also some potential green energy features as well. We've been talking to companies that offer green energy, solar energy production along the length of a roadway. And again, that would align very closely, not only with our logistics emphasis, but also our entree into the Voltage Valley.
The technologies you've just outlined seem really inventive and cutting edge. It's got to be really exciting to kind of push those topics forward and really dig into the details. But when it comes to being innovative, especially in the infrastructure space, I'm assuming federal support has to play a large role. So can you speak a little bit on how federal programs or federal support really helps push these projects forward and ensure their success?
Yes, absolutely. The federal infrastructure bill has been very prominent in media lately, and we'll await the outcome of that legislation. But in the meantime, the U.S. Department of Transportation has already announced a RAISE grant program. And RAISE stands for Revitalizing American Infrastructure with Sustainability and Equity. And the Mahoning Valley Partners have previously submitted a similar grant. It was called a BUILD grant a few years ago, and we referenced that in a presentation earlier this week on Infrastructure Week that you might want to refer to. But that was the project that was awarded to the city of Youngstown that revitalizes the key thoroughfares in Youngstown, Federal Street, Fifth Avenue, Commerce, Front Street. And we're making great progress against that project. We are seeing Fifth Avenue is nearing completion with Commerce and Federal Street imminently being started this year. But this is that same type of program. It's been rebranded by the Biden administration, but it offers some great opportunities to fund new initiatives that result in economic development. And very importantly, the RAISE grant features sustainability and equity. And those are two common values here in the Mahoning Valley, especially with our toehold in the electric vehicle manufacturing and lithium-ion battery manufacturing businesses in our area.
So you've mentioned partners involved in this project a couple times, and this isn't just an Eastgate initiative. Would you mind sharing who else is involved to help push this project forward?
Well, absolutely. We have learned for certain that collaboration is key to any success in this type of project. And while Eastgate plays a significant role, we can't do this without our partners at the Youngstown Warren Regional Chamber, and the Western Reserve Port Authority, and Youngstown State University, certainly locally. Statewide, we have had many conversations with Ohio Turnpike leadership, the Ohio Department of Transportation, and Drive Ohio, an organization that is really bringing forth new technologies to Ohio's roadways. They've introduced us to a number of technology companies with whom we've consulted for inclusion or consideration of their technologies in our proposal.
So it seems like there's a great team assembled covering all facets of economic development, transportation, uh, innovative technologies. As far as continuing to move this project forward, can you dig into the process a little bit and tell us what's to come?
Yes, it's a fast-moving process, certainly. Proposals are due in mid-July, July 12th. And this being mid-May, it really leaves us about 60 days to get our proposal submitted. Um, we are considering an approach that really implements some cornerstone technologies in this particular proposal. Basic infrastructure such as truck parking with digital communication to drivers indicating availability of spaces. We've learned that drivers spend an inordinate amount of time looking for parking places. That wastes time. That is jeopardizes their safety. It wastes fuel and it pollutes. If we can help find parking places for those truckers to relax and rest, and we can do so electronically, we've implemented a technology and also addressed the safety concern. That triple transfer trailer yard locally, we think that's important. It's not a great deal of technology necessarily, but it is really key so that the trucks can transfer loads. As many distributors as we have now in the Lordstown and North Jackson area, we need that kind of basic infrastructure to allow them to function efficiently. Now, Eastgate is also the recipient of an Ohio Department of Transportation grant that's providing $500,000 in planning monies to help us really detail a comprehensive smart logistics hub design and plan for incorporation of the appropriate amount of advanced technology. That technology that's ready for market, and it's also of value to our clients in and around the region. So we're going to be spending that award to pursue a validation of the technologies and determine exactly what makes sense for a potential raise grant application in 2022. This is the kind of project that builds out over several years. Yes, it would be nice to get all funded and all designed at once, but the technology is evolving so quickly, and we want to make sure that we are current and we are taking advantage of those technology developments. So we will submit a proposal in July of this year, but then we'll continue to develop plans for successive grant applications in ensuing years.
Well, Mike, you've shared a really comprehensive overview of this project. I appreciate that. Do you have any final thoughts?
Well, yes, certainly we've learned that this RAISE grant is a very competitive grant process. Seldom do you get a chance to request from the federal government large amounts of 10 or $15 million. They're usually much smaller than that. So it's extremely competitive. In our build grant application for Youngstown, we tried 3 times and we were successful on the 3rd time. We're hoping to be successful clearly, but we know it is competitive. But we have the experience in writing winning proposals, and we know that commitment by our local and regional partners is key to success. And we've maintained many of the partnerships and relationships that were successful in the Youngstown Build Grant project from 2018. Infrastructure is a critical component for business attraction, business retention and growth. And Eastgate is really continuing to offer our organizational leadership and support for a broad spectrum of infrastructure projects, be it highways, as we discussed today, or as we discussed earlier this week, broadband, the river corridor, or utilities. So Eastgate intends to be a significant contributor to the region's infrastructure as a building block for economic recovery.
Well, Mike, you've done a fantastic job outlining the initiatives underway to develop smart logistics as a key economic strategy for this region. I'm excited to see what's next in this space. And now, to wrap up National Infrastructure Week, we'll hear from Eastgate's Executive Director, Jim Kinnick.
Thank you, Justin, and thanks to everyone that participated in the webcast today. This was the final broadcast of our 5-part series recognizing National Infrastructure Week. The attention today focused on the smart logistics in the Voltage Valley. We are working with our regional partners to refine that vision to move the region forward. We're working with our state and federal partners to secure additional funding to make that vision a reality. I would like to thank Senator Sherrod Brown for participating in our event today. The Senator has been a strong supporter of the initiatives at Eastgate and certainly a strong supporter of the Mahoning Valley. In closing, I'd like to thank the staff that coordinated and produced the webcast all week. I'd also like to thank everyone that took the time to view the webcast. Thank you and stay well.